Hey everyone, Kevin here. I've been getting a lot of questions about Tesla. What did I do with the Tesla shares that I own? And what's going on with a Model Y and lawsuits and all these crazy things about me and Tesla? Well, today I'm gonna break it all down, and I'm also gonna show you every single Tesla share I've ever bought, how many I bought, and at exactly what price I bought, and exactly what I own right now, which is actually really interesting because you're gonna see a little bit of the psychology of buying stocks, which I think is really fascinating because to me, as I always say, the stock market is a graph of human emotion, and by looking at the purchases I made, I can kind of see my own emotion built into them, even though I'm a long run buy and hold investor. But hey, let's tell you what changed here. Let's go through some of the good, the bad, and the ugly, and share all the truth about me and Tesla. First things first, I think it's super helpful to be very clear and just say, no, I have not been sued by Tesla. No, Tesla has not contacted me to ask them to make nice videos about them in exchange for dropping their lawsuit. Now, I don't blame some commenters for thinking that. I did make an April Fool's video where I waved a Geiger counter around a Tesla after planting uranium ore under the mats in the car, so the Geiger counter would go off like crazy. And I may have done that wearing a crazy looking space hazmat style suit. That was April 1st. That was a joke. It was an April Fool's video. And I may have also made a video that night saying that I was sued by Tesla, and I may have read off things like the Lanham Act and lawsuit verbiage and claims that may have related to Tesla, but that also was an April Fool's joke. But hey, I can't really blame any of the confusion because I did follow up by making a video about me canceling my order for the Tesla Model Y and expressing in the same video frustration with the lack of guidance Elon and Tesla Motor Corp was providing for their sales in China. I hate to say it, but I'm still frustrated about the lack of guidance that Tesla's providing in terms of sales in China. I would like to know how many Model Ys are selling compared to how many Model 3s are selling. And yeah, don't fault me, but as an investor, I would like to know how much of those are selling in China compared to how much they're selling in the United States. That's because I've also made videos in the past making projections as to how much I think Tesla's share price should be worth by the end of 2021. And to save you all the analytical crap, I personally believe Tesla's worth $905 per share at the end of 2021 plus plus. And the plus is plus insurance revenue and plus solar revenue. Now, I have to say, that is pre-Rona. Rona may mess up these calculations a little bit, which is also why I was kind of on the hunt for some guidance in that Model Y video I made, because guidance lets me go to my data and my research and my information and my beliefs and my, call it speculation about a company, and make adjustments. But without data, I get a little nervous. So what I did in the Model Y video is, yes, I did cancel my Model Y. I canceled my Model Y because I thought, you know what, if I'm stuck at home, A, and don't need a car, and B, I could use that cash to buy more stocks, I would rather do that than spend money on a car right now. Now, I will say I did pre-order a Tesla Cybertruck, but I'm not really expecting to take delivery on that until the end of 2021 anyway, so I've got some time and I've got some opportunities to buy stocks now. That all weren't confusing enough. I ended up making another video talking about Tesla Solar and how I'm going to install solar panels on rental properties to see what the ROI is of giving tenants solar, especially in the southwest region of the United States, where solar tends to be pretty profitable. In that video, I expressed how I think Tesla's solar business and their model is absolutely genius. Crushes the competition by far in terms of what they offer and the flexibility of their contracts and the speed of their installations. I did also give them a hard time for trying to subcontract a roof to me, but I have to say, brilliant model because, hey, I could have had a really easy roof replace. They would have made that really easy for me. So, where does this leave us today? Well, this is where I get to revealing the truth about Tesla and me. That is, me and my shares of Tesla. Do I still have them? What do I have? And how did I acquire them? And how much did I acquire them for? And well, the easiest way to answer all of this is to literally just show you my transactions. Now, I've done many transactions with different trading services, so I put them all on a spreadsheet. And this spreadsheet also makes it a lot easier for me to figure out what my exact cost basis is, because I can add up all of my transactions and divide them by the shares I have, and then figure out, oh, okay, that's on average how much I paid per share. So let's look at this while at the same time kind of going into the psychology of Kevin. It's also helpful to quickly mention that I bought my first Tesla product ever at the end of 2017. I bought a Tesla Model X while I had been driving a Toyota Prius. And so I took my face from my Prius and put it on my Tesla. Just kidding, it's a new face and a new picture, but I wrapped my Tesla with my face and my real estate advertising and everything. And I have to say, the first 6 months to a year that I had the car, that is pretty much all of 2018, I had a lot of frustrations with the car. But in 2019, the over-the-air updates fixed a lot of the problems that I had with my car. A lot. And things kept getting better and better and better. The autopilot got better. The steering got better. The bugs went away. New features came out. And I started getting mind blown by the fact that my car was basically getting better when most cars as they age usually get worse. And I'm also not a big fan of spending money on cars. I bought a 2011 Toyota Prius, brand new, and I drove that thing for over 6.5 years to milk it, which is not like a dramatically long period of time, but I'll tell you, one of the reasons I kind of got pushed over to the edge to finally get a new car was because I used my Prius kind of like a pickup truck, and because I had spilled a few too many bags of concrete and tile and plants and stuff like whatever goes into construction and rental renovations and real estate, I realized I wasn't really helping my cause as a real estate broker when I invited people to go in my car and tour them around to show them real estate. Now, that rarely happened, but I'll tell you, I'll never forget the $2 million client that drove around with me and would not stop complaining about the lack of airflow in the back of the Prius, that the car smelled old. I mean, everything was like fussy. Maybe they're just like fussy people, okay? But after that moment, I bought a Tesla. And I'm like, that will never happen again. Of course, I ended up getting the Tesla Model X with white seats, which if you're like me and you wear jeans and a suit jacket and a shirt all the time, jeans happen to make the Tesla white seats turn blue. But I'm gonna blame myself for that. So, all right, let's look at the shares now. Here is the evolution of Kevin's interest in Tesla stock, share by share. First Tesla shares I ever bought, I bought around the same time that I actually bought the car. And you can see I didn't buy a lot. I bought somewhere between 6 to 4 shares to 3 shares. Once my car started improving, I didn't put the dates on here. I should have probably put all the dates on here, but I know this was 2018. I actually bought 47 shares of Tesla in 2018 as the car started improving and getting better. So you can kind of see how like my purchases were like an initial kind of foot in the water dip. And then once I started seeing the car get better, I made larger purchases. And then when pricing had fallen substantially in the summer of 2019, I also made larger purchases. You can see a 52 share purchase at 189. That was the lowest I was able to buy Tesla. And then as it started going up, I bought more. When I had money available, I spent more money. So I bought shares at 221, I bought shares at 243. These are all good purchases, obviously relative to the price today. Well, as my enthusiasm for the company grew, I started parking more and more cash at Tesla. Here you can see I actually made a 119 share transaction buying Tesla shares at $336 right after buying 10 more at $243. Now, just a quick note, a lot of you know me as a real estate investor. Why am I buying shares? Why am I picking stocks? Well, let me just add clarity here because there's a lot of confusion around this. A lot of people say, well, Kevin, you should buy real estate and then just put money into a Roth, you know, and put it into an index fund and call it a day. I don't play that game. Me, when I buy stocks, I like to buy stocks in either a 401k where I'm taking a tax write-off for making stock purchases, or I just buy them straight out in a regular trading account. My trading account of choice right now is Chase U Invest, although I also have been using some M1 Finance and Robinhood and Webull. Webull's great. I mean, obviously you get your 2 free stocks if you deposit $100, use the link down below. Webull I really like though for tracking prices, pre-market and aftermarket. So I keep some money at Webull in case I want to do some pre-market or aftermarket trades. But Chase I use regularly. And here's the big reason why, as a real estate investor, I invest in stocks. I do it because stocks serve as reserves. Twofold answer here for what I mean with reserves. Basically, I believe that stocks will go up in the long run. So I would rather continue to buy stocks and then hold those stocks in the long term. And as the values go up of these stocks in time, because I'm constantly buying over time, they're generally going to net up. And I actually create an emergency fund in my stock portfolio. The way I do that is I look at my stocks as something I never want to sell, but if I need to sell, I can. So that to me is much stronger and better suited for my personality than a dumb savings account. The reason for that is if I have $10,000 sitting around in a savings account, I'm pretty likely to spend that because I go, oh, I could go on a vacation. Oh, I could buy a new camera. I could buy some shoes. I could buy some glasses, whatever. If I look at my bank account and I go, oh, crap, I only got $900 in the bank account and I got to pay a $1,000 bill. When do I get paid next? I'm constantly feeling poor. And by constantly feeling poor, yet at the same time having a bunch of money in stocks, I'm actually building my wealth. That's just a quick taste of the psychology I teach in my money program. But let me give you the second reason too, as a real estate investor, why I would buy stocks. The second reason I buy stocks, especially in like a 401k retirement account, like a simple IRA or SEP IRA, is I get a tax deduction, so I have more money in my tax account right away, in my retirement account, which is nice. I have more of an emergency fund, which look at what the CARES Act did. The CARES Act removed penalties and they let you take out double the normal loan from your 401k. It's like, this is why the 401k is so much better than the Roth, in my opinion. Like when things go bad, they release all the restrictions on the 401k. It just happens over and over again, but whatever. So I have more money available now, which means I have more reserves in that. And yeah, I have to pay taxes on that at some point, so we could talk about that a different time. But I never planned to pay taxes in real estate anyway. Also something we could talk about at a different time. But anyway, now I have more money sitting over there in reserves. So in an emergency, if I need it, I have more available, which was the first part. But also when I go to a bank to qualify for a loan and they say, Kevin, we want to see that you have 6 months in reserves for all of your properties. I go, no problem. Here, let me show you my stock trading account. And they look and go, that checks that box. Thank you very much, Kevin. They use stocks as reserves. So that's why as a real estate investor with somebody with an over $8 million portfolio in real estate, I buy a crap load of stocks. So going back to the spreadsheet, after my purchase of 119 shares at $3.36, shares promptly fell to $2.92 and then $2.77. But unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of money left over. So I bought more shares, but this time I only bought 10 shares, 5 shares, and 4 shares. This is actually something I don't do anymore. I've done it again, what I'm gonna show you in the spreadsheet, but today, within the last maybe 2 months or something, it's something that I've stopped myself from doing. I've stopped buying these large bulk transactions, and I'm much more interested in buying 15 to 20 shares at a time of a company like Tesla. Obviously, with whatever money I have, you could divide this out proportionately to however you like doing it. But that way, I'm not sinking myself into a higher purchase price with a bulk purchase. I'd rather buy on every red day, and instead of that 119 shares in one swoop, I should have honestly bought 20 shares, 20 shares, 20 shares, 20 shares, and spread that money out a little bit. I'm unfortunately impatient and I've realized that mistake. And so now I have a rule that if I have $20,000 to invest, I'll only invest 5 at a time. 5 one day, 5 the next day, 5 the next day, 5 the next day, and I spread it out a little bit that way. But usually I'll only buy on red days. Now here you can see I bought a lot more shares. A lot of these shares were purchased towards the end of 2019. And a lot of this was due to the fact that I had been researching Tesla more. I had more money available. I was making more money at that time at the end of 2019. And so I had more money available to spend, more money to invest. And based on the calculations that I had done, I strongly believed that Tesla was worth at least $905 plus by the end of 2021. I still feel confident about that number today. But what I'm about to show you is something I've gotten a lot of comments about, and that's why I figured let me just show you my entire cost basis here. But I did make a large purchase of Tesla at 905 shares. This is the last time I made a very big purchase like this, but I'll show you how much of an impact this actually makes to sort of the weighted average. Obviously, when we look at 905 and it's like, wow, you bought $60,000 of Tesla at 905, what a loser, what an idiot, probably just FOMOing. I don't know. I mean, I think we can all speculate whatever we want. I bought it because I felt at that time, and I still feel this way, the value of Tesla is 905 plus. That is by the end of 2021, I'd feel confident that it's worth at least $905 plus whatever revenue they're getting from solar and insurance, which isn't even really priced into the market yet. And because I'm a long-term buy and holder, it didn't really matter to me that I was buying at my target price, because that plus basically makes a 905 purchase a lower than my target purchase price. That's just my POV. If this goes up to $1,000, you're not going to see me buying unless some new guidance or new data comes out that changes the data that I believe Tesla is going to be aligning with in 2021. So if this stock keeps going up like it's been going up the last few days and it goes over 1,000 or over 905 substantially, I won't be buying it. In fact, I'm not buying it right now either. I'll tell you what I actually did. So obviously that transaction there looks like a big thorn, like, wow, what an idiot. You must be a bad investor. Whatever. If you keep scrolling though, look what I did as values started declining. I bought 16 shares at 760, 25 shares at 790, 10 shares at 644, 4 shares at 617, 15 shares at 643, 17 at 570, 15 at 476, 13 at 356. This is literally dollar cost averaging down. This is literally what we all speak of when we say be fearful when other people are greedy, be greedy when other people are fearful. I know I didn't have as much cash available because I blew a good portion of it on a larger purchase, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Again, like after those two bigger purchases, I'm spreading out my buys a lot more. That's why you're seeing these 25, 10, 15, 17, 15, 12, 22, whatever. This is a much better way to buy in my opinion. But you can see a lot of these purchases were made over the last probably month to month and a half here. For example, 356 here, we only saw Tesla hit the 300s for one day. And I think it was like half of a day as well because it shot right back up. So I bought some at 548, some at 473, some at 451, and that's it. And so that's where if we scroll all the way to the bottom with all of this roller coaster where, you know, if I just posted these sales or these purchases right here, look at this, watch this. This is typical YouTube is gonna be this. Typical YouTube says, I own 144 shares of Tesla and look at my cost basis. Look, oh my gosh, I bought these all in the 200s. I'm a genius. That's typical, right? It's okay. Had I spread these out more, of course things would have looked better. I mean, over here though, I'm kind of glad I bought 119 at 336. So I don't think there's really like a foolproof method here. I think it's just if you believe a company's trading below your stock price, keep buying it. And that's been my POV with all of the stocks that I've ever bought. But let's look at my actual weighted average now. So if we go all the way down to the bottom here, we will see that I actually own 653 shares of Tesla. I own a few other shares in an HSA retirement account. I didn't end up putting them on this spreadsheet. I should have, but oh well. I think it's like 4 other shares that I own scattered in different places. I think it's like 2 there and 2 there. But anyway, so I think I have 657 total, but for this purposes of this spreadsheet, let's go with 653 because those are the purchase prices and transactions I listed here. So I have 653 shares of Tesla, and I paid a price of $281,875 for those 653 shares. Which, if we divide how much I paid, which is really just the share times the price is the transaction total, and this number here is just the entire transaction total of all of these. If I divide the amount of shares I have by my transaction total, you'll see that my actual cost basis for all of these Tesla shares is $431. Which right now it looks like Tesla is trading for $717, $718 now in after hours. So $718 at the current price, $718, means the current value of all of my Tesla holdings are $468,800, which means I have a net overall gain on my Tesla purchases over the last couple years here of $187,000 approximately. So I don't know about you, but looking back at my psychology of these transactions that I made with Tesla is really fascinating to me, and it actually helps me learn as an investor. The biggest lesson that I take out of this, other than just keep doing this as long as the stock is below my buy price, the biggest lesson I take out of this is don't make massively large purchases. Again, 119 shares bought at 336, that's great. I just do wish that I could spread that out 20, 20, 20, 20 all the time, because then when it's at 905, had I done 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, or 3 times 20, I would have bought some at 780, some at 850, some at 905, and then I wouldn't have bought until that next transaction that I did. So that would have probably been a little bit of a safer way to go. I didn't do it. That's my only mistake and regret looking back. I don't regret canceling the Y. And in case you're wondering if I've ever sold a single Tesla share, the answer is no. By the way, just in case it comes up, here's a screenshot of the latest statement from my TD Ameritrade account that shows 323 shares. I've actually made some other Tesla videos where I just log into my TD Ameritrade and show you those same 323 shares there, but I've also added a substantial position at Chase. You could see the number of shares here. The other 50 shares I have are in like 6 different accounts, so you'll just have to believe me on that last 10%. Like I say, my sell button is broken, and if you want to learn more about my psychology and how I teach, make sure to join me in those courses linked below. Use that coupon code. Join me in the private live streams every morning. The market is open at 9 a.m. where we talk stocks, we talk real estate. I answer all your questions. I look at your deals, and I try to do whatever I can to help. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and until next time. By the way, in editing, I realized that at the high today, when I thought about making this video, the share price of Tesla was $738 times 657 shares is only about $485-ish thousand. Obviously, it fluctuates up and down. So what I'm going to do over the next 3 to 4 days is I'm just gonna buy $5,000 worth of Tesla every day. Even though it breaks my rule of buying on a green day because I only ever buy on red days, I'm doing it to make sure that we can have the title, because nobody would click on this title if I said $484,000, whereas way more people are gonna click if it says 500, am I right? All right, here we go. So we'll hop on into Webull. It is after hours. It's 3:34 p.m. California time. So let's go ahead and buy 8 shares at a limit of 713. All right, we have submitted that purchase order.
And it's gone.